Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to GSD Daily, number 36. So today we're going to be talking about, well, actually the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about something fun. And I think tomorrow I'm going to be able to hit the standing desk again, which is going to be exciting because I feel a lot better actually standing and talking. It's also better to create courses and stuff that way. At least I have found it to be. So today and this week, we are going to be talking about digital products and creating offers. Now, I put out a small survey last week to see if you wanted data or offers, and offers was the overwhelming majority across all of the different channels that we kind of added. So basically we are going to, I'm actually just here. We're just going to dive into it. So what we're going to be covering this week is this. So it's actually going to be in the next 2 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about ebooks. That's going to be today. Tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, but in the future, I think on like Thursday, we're going to talk about membership sites. And then we're going to talk about video courses. And thank you so much. She said, nice haircut. So membership sites is going to be probably like Thursday because I want to get through video courses and audio programs. And then all of that gets locked into a membership site. So whenever you have a digital product, that thing gets locked behind a username or password. And that's why it protects your access. I mean, it protects your product so that, people aren't downloading it and going crazy with it. And, they're paying for it. So ebooks, video courses, audio programs, membership sites. And then we're going to flip into a little bit different modality. We're going to be talking about some live stuff. We're going to talk about teleseminars and webinar programs. We're going to talk about associations. That's going to be, the stuff on the right is going to end up being next week. Associations software. I'm going to go put together a presentation on how to build software from scratch. Professional services, coaching, consulting, and agencies. So that's the roadmap. It's aggressive. I know we're going to be covering 10 different business models in 10 different days, in 10 days. But they all reinforce each other. I mean, because if you have an ebook or a video course or an audio program, you can upsell into coaching and consulting. If you have a webinar program, then you can upsell into, you can sell into an association, you can upsell into software. So there's so many different ways that this stuff ends up working together. So there is, if you are the least bit inclined to start something online, we are going to hit it in the next 10 days. So that's the idea. That's the goal, at least. Now, today, just to kind of, for those of you, so every day we're getting new people, who are showing up. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with who I am, my name is Jason Drone. I'm the creator of Done For You, and I do three things really well. So I basically clarifying message, clarifying your sales and marketing messages, building sales funnels, and automating your sales systems, and then also interpreting data. So everything that we talk about lives within those three spheres. And thank you, Rob, for pointing out that sometimes, listening to me talk is just like, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I get it. So, and the buckets helps. I mean, it is nice to clarify in the buckets. So now in the next 10 days, we are going to be getting into the nitty gritty of creating digital businesses. So we're going to be talking about creating stuff. At the end of the day, capturing your knowledge and information and creating stuff. And there are a number of types of products and services that I'm going to teach you how to create. We talked a little bit about that, but the point in teaching you isn't so that you feel you need to create all of these things. A fool's errand would be going out and thinking that you need to create an ebook and a video course and an association and a membership site and a coaching offer. What I want to do is give you the information and arm you with the knowledge so that you can create the type of digital product that you want to demystify this idea of digital product creation, of membership sites and associations, and all of that other shit. It's not complicated. It is when you don't know what you're doing, and you never know what you're doing when you're starting something new. That's the point of starting something new and failing fast. You're going to fail, whenever you embark on a new journey, but the failure is key to progress. So in creating your own digital products and in creating your stuff, your business online, then having a roadmap to follow in any of these areas is needed. So this is going to be a roadmap. Now, so for example, one of my clients' skill sets. So this is just an example of the digital product piece. So one of my clients' skill sets positions her perfectly for doing a teleseminar series. So she likes being on the radio. She likes being on the phone. She enjoys it. She's an extrovert. She enjoys that stuff. I don't, so this teleseminar series would not work for me. But she's interviewed hundreds of people already. She's connected in that area, and she does really well on the social piece. So in helping her create products, we decided to go a webinar route, teleseminar route, association route, because that fuels her extrovertedness. That fuels her need to build and join and be a part of community. Ebooks and video courses, not so much. She disliked being in front of the camera. But she disliked even more the fact that she was not in front of an audience, in front of a camera. Like it was just her and a camera. Like this, what I'm doing right now, she would not be able to do. Writing ebooks, sitting down for 20, 30, 40 hours and actually writing and creating and scripting an ebook and editing an ebook, again, not something she wanted to do. So when going through this material, your filter is the knowing of yourself. It's knowing this is what I want to do. This is what I like to do. This is how I see the future of my business. This is how I see my future. All of that stuff, So there are offer types, and what I want to do is teach you how to build each one of them, and then let you decide what you want to do. If you want to do ebooks, that's awesome. If you want to do video courses, that's awesome. Even the best selling services are packaged as products and sold to the masses. So, think of not a lot of software, but or a lot of services, but the best selling services are the ones that basically have a couple different like kind of buckets, and you're able to purchase them in quantity or in package, and then they're productized services. And software is a great type of product too, and I'll teach you how to build and how we've created SaaS offers. With software, it's really less about the transformation and it's more about the access. So whereas in ebooks, video courses, membership sites, like it's more about the transformation. It's more about the information and the knowledge that you're giving somebody and the transformation they're going to have in their life, as far as how successful they're going to be, because of that information. Now, this is a really advanced tip. And the reason I'm sharing it with you right now is because it is super important if you plan on going this route. If you plan on creating products, then this is something that you're going to want to write down and always have in the back of your mind as you're creating your digital enterprise. And that is, you literally do not need to create the product first. It is perfectly legal, acceptable, smart, and okay to set everything up for your product before you create it. So you build your website, you build your sales page, you build your emails, you offer, you have your buy button, you have your shopping cart, and then you see if it's going to resonate in the market before you actually go and create the offer. Meaning you just don't activate your shopping cart, so you don't take somebody's money, so they hit the sales page and then they hit the checkout page and, then they click the button and nothing happens. Well, you didn't take their money, but you can track the click. So with Google Analytics or with screen capture software or whatever, you can see that somebody clicked that button, or you can see that somebody loaded that add to cart form. And then if what you're doing is working. Because if it's not working, why create the product? So it's perfectly fine to do that, to test first. So what it lets you do is it lets you brainstorm your product. It lets you create your unique selling position. It lets you build a website and create a new page, first, and then you offer it for sale. Then after you get some data, then you can actually script it in. You can build it out and record it and create it and all of that stuff. So that's why I'm sharing it with you right now, even though we haven't even got into like the products or anything. The product testing piece, super, super important. Make sense? All right. Now, so the only difference with product testing is that rather than take payment, you send them to a page that says, thanks for your interest. We're temporarily sold out. And then you track how many impressions that page gets. Or you just simply be upfront with them and tell them that you're building this product and they'll be founding members, if they buy. So that works too. If you ever hear of any of the classifications like founding members and, early beta testers, and that's all that means is that they bought when the product was still being built because they believed in the product, Now, as we said, in the next 2 weeks, this week, we're going to talk about ebooks, membership sites, video courses, audio programs, and teleseminar webinar programs. And also in the next week is going to be associations, software, professional services, coaching, consulting, and agencies. And what I'm going to do in each of these categories is I'm going to show you exactly how you need to set it up to make money, including the technology you need, the processes that you need, the thinking that you need to have in order to, implement and execute on these things, and the positioning and really just, basically weird stuff that's going to make you money. So today's lesson is going to be about ebooks. It's the simplest of them all. So ebooks or PDFs, when I first got into this idea of digital products, ebooks were like fucking game changers. I mean, people were charging $37, $47 for a PDF download from a website, and that was revolutionary. That was, 14 years ago, 12, 14 years back then. And then Kindle came out with this thing called an e-reader, the ugly Kindles, the ones with the keyboards. But it revolutionized digital reading, so now there's Kindle books and there's iBooks and, there's a lot. The idea of digital books is commonplace. Whereas before it was like literally you had to, in the email, the confirmation email where you sent the PDF, you had to actually link to Adobe Reader, which is a free program that everybody could use to actually read a PDF. But you had to link to it because the software wasn't like native on a PC yet. Like browsers didn't have it automatically embedded in their browser. You had to actually download it in order to read it. So that was, and now it's like no matter what device you are on, you can open up an ebook, any device. So ebooks are the least complicated information product in the world to create. It's short and form like reports. They're brilliant for lead generation, little 8 to 10 page PDFs, meaning that you can give them away and actually collect email addresses easily. And an ebook is nothing more than a PDF that you sell and distribute from your website, allowing you to charge more and keep 100% of the sales price. At the end of the day, that's what an ebook is. An ebook is something that you sell. It's a digital file you sell. You can keep the money. Ebooks typically sell for $67 or $37, $27 if you're selling from your website. Although right now, a lot of people are selling for $4.95. As Tripwire offers, or as low ticket kind of introductory lead generation buyer type, buyer qualification type offers, and they work really, really well there. So that's the idea for these digital files. And you can also sell them on Amazon Kindle or on iBooks, although you're going to really be making less per sale due to Amazon and Apple's, large distribution network. So you have to pay a percentage because of their distribution. But first, let's talk about putting them together. So typically in creating ebooks, you need to have a structure. And the structure is like a cover page, table of contents, a bio, introduction, story, body, and conclusion. You've read books. You know what books look like. But the important thing is figuring out what, the hook and what the transformation you're going to make, for your reader is going to be. And at the end of this, we're actually going to go through and kind of talk about mind mapping, and putting together your ideas in a book form, because the software really is pretty, it's pretty easy. All you need is a word processor to write an ebook. So like Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Apple Pages, all of those word processing kind of softwares, you can export as a PDF, and then your PDF is good. Then you're done. They all have native inbound table of contents scripts and stuff too. So the software basically takes care of all that stuff for you. The hard part is brainstorming the topics and the table of contents, and the things that you want to talk about. That's the hardest part of writing an ebook, is figuring out, what your topic is going to be and what you want to talk about. Because once you have that, then you can go through and just fill in the paragraphs that are in between the content. You can also record audio or video and then have it transcribed to quicken the process using using software like rev.com, which is exactly how I create these podcasts. Basically I live stream these things and then I send them to a transcriptionist, pay $1.25 a minute. They transcribe the content into text. And then for me, I can use it however I want. I can put it in an ebook if I want, and I have. I can add it to the blog, and I do. So there's lots of different ways once you have the content that you can use it. Or you can just write it, and then when it's done, you export it as a PDF and you upload it to your website. So you export it PDF file, you put the PDF file in your WordPress site or on Amazon Cloud or in Dropbox or whatever, however you want to send that PDF out, and then you just link to it. And then boom, you have a digital file that you can sell for $27, $37, $5, $10, whatever you want to sell it for. Now, I really, really recommend putting together a ebook cover. It can be a digital kind of, cover like this, where it's standing up, it's pretty, it looks like a book. And that's fine. It conveys that it's, got a tangible feel to it, trust, and there's some mental imagery there, and, all that stuff. I have found lately that just literally having an image, even block light flat image, works just as well. Just because even in Amazon, people are used to buying books with just a flat image. So it doesn't need to be all this, although it can be if you would like. I use a piece of software called Cover Action Pro to create that. I'm sure there are a million other ones, and I don't even know if Cover Action Pro is around anymore. But there's 5 people who will do it. Now, even though people understand that they're downloading a document, they like to see it, which is why we have some sort of a graphical representation for the book. It doesn't have to be a book, but we want to have some sort of imagery that represents the book, because they do want to at least see a cover. Having an image also increases conversions 3 or 4 times. So if it's just a straight up text-based sales page, then it's not going to convert as well as it would if it had an image that did represent the book. And you can get ebook covers designed at Upwork, Fiverr. Like I said, you can use a Photoshop plugin. There's, I'm sure, standalone software that you can use too for it. And if you're using Upwork and Fiverr, just post a job on the job boards and just choose a bidder. It's going to end up being pretty cheap. Now, there are a couple different formats of ebook that you should be familiar with. They're not really formats. It's more like kind of terminology, I guess, about different ebook lengths. So when I think of an ebook, I think of 30 to 100 pages. That is something that somebody's going to sit down and read and go through and all that. Now, a guide, in my way of thinking, is 10 to 30 pages. So it's enough to kind of get into a specific topic, but it's not enough to just like go nuts with it. You know what I mean? And then a report is something that usually is given away for free, and it's 8 to 10 pages, or you charge a couple bucks for it, or it's in addition to a membership or something. Something very concise, very particular, and it's 8 to 10 pages, and it's meant to solve one problem. So it's just how I, kind of view digital downloads and report. There's lots of other ways. You can call it a white paper. You can call it, a 1-page or 2-pager if it's a super short one. So there's lots of other ways you can kind of lots of other things you can call ebooks. but those are the ones that tend to resonate the best. Also, this isn't a hard and fast rule, but it really kind of seems to be the norm. Many people use the words temporary or interchangeable. So like a report is something you give away for free. A guide has very punchy, quick value. And then an ebook is more meaty and really should be less expensive. It's one of the reasons why I like our Funnel Factory report. I call it a master guide because it's 274 pages long. I mean, it's not even an ebook. It's way, way, way more than an ebook. So, I mean, it should be a textbook, so number of titles, manifestos, blueprints, video reports. I have heard that before. And typically pricing for ebooks. If you're downloading it from a website, or you're enabling somebody to download it from your website, let's say, you're going to charge $27 to $37 for it. 47 to 67 is less common, and you can get away with that for a digital download if it's highly specialized. Like if it's like a very, very specific kind of tech procedure, or something that is something, if it's just specialized, and it's going to have a very high transformative effect for your user. Kindle, iPad, and digital reader, they're usually $10 to $12. They can go up to 40, but if it's a digital download through a different marketplace, they're usually 10 to 12, 10 to 14, somewhere in there. Ours are typically priced like $9.95 for digital readers, digital, and then the books are usually like $14, like the paperbacks. So that's it tends to be where it is. Now, the one thing I did want to walk you through, the idea behind ebooks isn't revolutionary. I mean, it's literally a Word document that you export as a PDF and you put it on your website. That part's not hard. The hard part is getting through the creation of like a table of contents, thinking through the idea. So we're going to go and mind map just a little bit. I want to introduce you to mind mapping. I did this a couple weeks ago and everybody liked it pretty well. So we're going to do it again. Now we're going to go into MindMeister. So MindMeister is my favorite mind mapping tool. And then we're just going to go through and we're going to create a mind map from scratch. So let's say, I need to show you my screen, don't I? That would be very helpful. All right. So I'm going to stop this screen, and then I'm going to share my next other screen. The other application. So that's going to be my mind mapping application. All right. Okay. And so you can see my screen now. Now I'm going to make it big. All right. So I don't know why there we go. Okay. So when you're brainstorming your book, then usually I start with a mind map. And let's say the book is How to Create Digital Products. So, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about this week. But, how to create digital products. Well, the first thing you really want to know, so this is going to be like chapter 1. We're going to call it discovery. Normally the first couple sections of the book is discovery or some sort of introductory material so that we can make sure that everybody's on the same page. So discovery is going to be like skills and talents. We want to make sure that, you're talented and you know what you're doing. Goals and aspirations. Your digital products in your book need to fit into your goals and how you want your life to look like. Then we get into, proficiencies, if I probably didn't spell right, but experience, what you're good at, and transformation, what you can help other people with. So that's going to be your discovery. You're going to go through kind of a little bit of an introspective journey, and then, maybe figure out what you can help other people with. And then your next chapter, chapter 2, is going to be product types. Now, product types. So once we know kind of what we're into, or what what we can help other people with. Then we're going to talk about how to package that stuff. So it can be ebooks, video courses, membership sites, associations. And then once we know what kind of products we're going to be creating, then we can talk about how about we talk about designing those products, or how about we're going to do marketing those products. Now that we know the next chapter is marketing, we know that we're going to need a website, of course, not a webinar. Well, we definitely don't need a webinar for this. So we're going to need a website. We're going to need Google Ads. We're going to need Facebook videos and all of that other stuff. And then after that, we're going to talk about upsells, let's say. So upsells are going to be all those things, those other services that we can sell as a companion to that front book. Companion offers. It might be consulting, coaching, and so on and so forth. Now, so what we did was we just basically brainstormed what our book could be or could look like. And you could take yourself through a similar process, a similar kind of brainstorming process. But we started with nothing, and then we said, okay, we want to create a book on how to create digital products. Now, chapter 1 is always going to be some sort of, like, if you look at any book, your first chapter is usually introductory material, because what it's doing is it's bringing everybody to the same point, to the same understanding, the same level of, understanding. Everybody comes and picks up a book with different, messages in their head, and with different, ways of thinking, with different educations and backgrounds and experience. And they pick up this book, and now you're trying to push everybody into the same train of thought. So the first chapter usually sets up the baseline for what that train of thought is. So chapter 1, discovery, generally. So these are all the things you need to know in order to get to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is where the actual meat of the book actually starts. So chapter 2 in our case is going to be, here's the different product types, that we can create. And in ebooks, video courses, membership site, whatever. And your chapter 2 is going to be totally different. Chapter 2 might be, if you're writing about business development, it's going to be one thing. If you're writing about, how to make money online, or MLM offers, or, what real estate investing, your chapter 2 is going to be different. And then chapter 3 typically builds on chapter 2, and chapter 4 typically builds on chapter 3. And then at the end, you recap the entire book, and before you know it, you actually have an ebook that, A, you can sell, and B, is going to create some transformation in somebody's life. So it's going to be a work that you can then use to generate more business, to generate more revenue, to unlink time for money, to live a placeless life where you can work, you can do what you want, work with who you want, all of that stuff. So that is the idea behind digital products. That's why, ebooks and video courses, membership sites, and all that stuff are so powerful. Now, we went a little bit over today. Does anybody have any questions in the questions or in the comment box? Just let me know. Okay, cool. So today, talked about ebooks. Tomorrow, let's look at our roadmap here. So tomorrow, I think we're going to talk about, video courses. We might do audio programs. We might tie it in with video courses. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do it yet. I think we're probably going to do video and audio together, because anymore, rarely do you see audio without video. Usually video is created and then audio is stripped out, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I am going to put together a video course, the video slides and everything. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about different video software and kind of getting in there. And then if you have any questions at all, just go to doneforyou.com/GSD. And also make sure, if you have, go to doneforyou.com/start. Let us know and book an action plan call with us. and we'll get on the phone and kind of strategize your business. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks.